Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Okay, first of all, I want to express my gratitude that I'm here in your association. I mean, I really would have missed something. This Damodar Ashtakam will always remain in my heart and my mind with you here. It was really amazing. Thank you, Indra Valamatiji, to be so kind to me. You don't know me, but you opened the doors here that I can stay for you. And you invite me to speak also the highest philosophy. Although the highest philosophy is pure, it is in itself. It needs an empowered person to give the knowledge to others. I don't feel I'm empowered, but still, due to your mercy, maybe I find some relevant words to you and can give you a few lines of inspiration. So in this sense, this evening we speak from Bhagavad Gita. We are in chapter 8, text 8. And the chapter is called Attaining the Supreme. Do you usually repeat the lines, or you do? Okay, but we make it like quickly. You said like 8 o'clock. So the verse is Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananya Gamina Paramang Purusham Divyam Yati Partanuchintayan. One more time. Abhyasa Yoga Yuktena Chetasananya Gamina Paramang Purusham Divyam Yati Partanuchintayan. Abhyasa Yoga. By practice. Yuktena. Being engaged in meditation. Cetasa. By the mind and intelligence. Na Anyagamina. Without their being deviated. Paramam, the Supreme. Purusham, personality of Godhead. Divyam, transcendental. Yati, one achieves. Partha, O son of Partha. Anuchintayan, constantly thinking of. The verse, he who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Purport by His Divine Grace Ace Bhaktivinoda Srila Prabhupada Ki. In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Mahamantra, Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing the sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, One's ear, tongue and mind are engaged. This mystic meditation is very easy to practice, and it helps one attain the Supreme Lord. Purusham means enjoyer. Although living entities belong to the marginal energy of the Supreme Lord, they are in material contamination. They think themselves enjoyers, but they are not the Supreme Enjoyer. Here it is clearly stated that the Supreme Enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different manifestations and plenary expansions as Narayan, Vasudeva, etc. The devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayan, Krishna, Ram, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him, and at the end of his life, due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yoga practice is meditation on the super soul within. Similarly, by chanting Hare Krishna, one fixes his mind always on the Supreme Lord. The mind is fickle, and therefore it is necessary to engage the mind by force. Force? There's some word not correct. A set is in between here in this Bhagavad Gita. To think of Krishna. Interesting. One example often given is that of the caterpillar that thinks of becoming a butterfly and so is transformed into a butterfly in the same life. Similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution as Krishna. Again the verse, he who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. This verse is really full of nectar, and actually a qualified speaker should speak here right now, because we have so many limbs of bhakti. I mean, the verse starts in regard to remembering Krishna, so we can go with our mind to verse Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, all the different aspects which can bring us to perfection. And then we come to the topic of who is the enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer, and we are enjoyed by him, or we enjoy our own senses, or we try to enjoy our senses. Then further, it's also mentioned the different energies of Krishna, the marginal energy. There's a deep topic in regard to this whole topic here, the energies. Then we have the different kinds of worship, the objects of worship, Lord Narayan, Krishna, Ram, and by chanting of Hare Krishna, we are all referring to these different personalities, and that one is transferred to the kingdom of God. And it is also mentioned about the mind, which is so fickle and not steadily engaged, or other words, it is so important to be steadily engaged in the service of Krishna. With the example of the butterfly who thinks about, or the caterpillar who thinks about to become a butterfly, and in the same life he even transforms himself to a wonderful living entity. And it's so nice in the Bhagavad Gita and the purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada explains a point, and then in the end he comes back, in a sense he refers it to Krishna and how we can become perfect. And this final sentence he writes, similarly, if we constantly think of Krishna, it is certain that at the end of our lives we shall have the same bodily constitution of Krishna. these words by Srila Prabhupada can give us so much hope, faith, determination, energy to follow this path of Krishna consciousness. And it's very interesting. I mean, for me personally, definitely I am the caterpillar. I'm still in the stage of caterpillar and meditating on becoming a butterfly. I'm not sure whether it's this life, but I don't want to discourage anybody in the sense that it is possible to become a butterfly, a beautiful devotee, even in this life, and going back to Krishna in this life. As we know, the word anatta, unwanted qualities, they are in our heart, or they are in my heart, and in this sense it is so important to detect them, to realize them, to work on them, to get rid of them. And what's the way, as it is described here in Bhagavad Gita, the chanting of Hare Krishna. I guess all of us, we have the same challenges in our daily life to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with concentration. Often there are rounds in between, we have to work, we have to do something, we have to do seva, and then in between somehow we squeeze some rounds. It is helpful, definitely. The Maha Mantra is so powerful that he cleanses our heart, that he has its potency. I guess it's also the realization all of you have. If you really try to concentrate on the Maha Mantra, either the day is a miracle, or somehow our mind becomes steady, fixed, we feel stronger. So I always meditate, and I recommend to somehow find the space to chant, to find some time and only chant. Leaving the phone behind, the thoughts of the next service, just telling the mind, okay, now I take my 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and I concentrate on the mantra. And it's really only the mantra. It seems so easy. These are only some words, but to focus on these words and try to bring the mind to a point that we even are so conscious, that we chant with so much thoughts, that even a single letter in the Maha Mantra we try to concentrate on. It is really so much power. It is, I simply tell myself, it's the mantra. It's only the mantra, so concentrate on the mantra. And it helps so much to pacify the mind, to gain strength. And it is said the mantra is not only, or the mantra has different aspects. We get detached from this world, we become stronger. But as Haridas Thakur was also telling one Brahmin, he was criticizing him because they were speaking about the Maha Mantra in a superficial way. And Haridas Thakur mentioned that, this mantra gives even more. The mantra gives love of Godhead. And so the other Brahmin was telling her, why do you say this? If it's really true, what was he saying? His nose, he cut his nose, or his nose will fall off. And so they were really disturbed that he was so bold speaking against the Namacharya Haridas Thakur. But he kept relaxed. He said, all right, it's okay if you tell this. And in due course of time, after a few days, this other Brahman, he got leprosy, his nose fell off, and he left his body. Sorry that I have not all the details, it was really nice, but so the point is that the Maha Mantra gives even more. He gives us love of Godhead. And imagine, we are in this Kali Yuga. I mean, it doesn't matter in which city we are. As it is mentioned also here in this verse in regard to the enjoyer, practically every soul wants to enjoy. I mean, on the one hand, it is also, I mean, we can understand, we can feel compassion for all the souls. We have to work so hard, or everybody has to work so hard. We put ourselves in a situation where we have to do it because we need to pay a rent, we need to pay for food. And then of course the material energy gives us so many illusions, what might be our satisfaction. Now I come from Hong Kong and I was so surprised. There are so many malls, shopping malls, big shopping malls with all these high-class companies from Paris like Gucci, Armani, or Italy. They have Armani, this Louis Vuitton, what's his name? So many shops. I've never seen so many shops in a city. And I mean, they ask a fortune for their clothes. I mean, it's simply a trouser. It's necessary that we have a trouser or skirt or something, and we can get one to a reasonable price, but I mean, they only put their name on this, and this is a name where you practically have to pay for, and they have millions, they drive big cars, Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever, and people think only the status, now I'm somebody, now I get acknowledgement, and people think I'm somebody because yes, this trouser or skirt from Armani, whoever it is. And this is an artificial state where we have to work, we have to go give our energy, and yeah, of course, it is challenging. It is challenging in life, and during the week we work hard, and in the weekend we feel like, okay, now I need to enjoy. Now I need to do something which gives my mind happiness and pleasure. Then of course we can decide between the material energy or the spiritual energy, between Krishna. And most people in all of the cities, they decide to enjoy something else than Krishna. And I made the experience, like in Hong Kong, the devotees were also performing Harinam, and usually the holy name, if we go out and chant together, the holy name has its potency and he melts the heart of the people. They are more receptive, or yeah, at least they stay for some time and take pictures or videos. But I mean, and they also might ask, what are you doing? They might take a book, but probably because I was not powerful enough, I mean, everybody walked by, passed by, they were not really looking at me, and yeah, this also happened in New York. The people are so much in their world, so much covered by the material energy. But anyway, I don't want to say we shouldn't do it. It was great what the devotees were doing there. They also put a table in the street, they made a little altar, they had also lamps, and offered the people the opportunity to make a small lamp offering to Damodar. They gave them a book and I think a cupcake. And so yeah, people are touched. We have to do this, we have to do this. It's our possibility to save so many lives, to make it possible to plant the seed of bhakti in the heart of the person. It is important to understand, to be detached from this what we are doing, because often there's the criticism, or it is mentioned like, we're doing so many books, we're doing Ratha Yatra, we're doing Harinams, but look at the temples, they're practically empty, or we always need somebody and it's not enough manpower, it's so much to do, it's so empty, and it can be discouraging, but it is important to just let go. Like Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, you fight, but you are detached from the result. And so it is so wonderful. I'm sure you're doing same great things as Prabhu mentioned, Harinam Prabhu, or you, that you go out, it's almost a full day, you're out in the streets, you're chanting, you're giving prasadam. I mean, it's really amazing what you are doing. And in a sense, you can be proud of this and you can be part of this. Srila Prabhupada sees your endeavor and you make it possible that people change their lives. Not maybe in this life, but in the next. Their bhakti seed is there, and usually like a seed, there are some flowers, sorry, I don't know the English name now from this one flower, but if you put the seed into the earth, it takes a whole year, and after 1 year, in the following year, then the seed starts to sprout and the flower comes. And it's same with people's heart and life. We don't know when it will happen, but we know it happens. So I only can encourage you to continue and give your energy. Of course, I also need to encourage you to take care of your own spiritual life. In a sense, there might be points where you feel like, okay, my mind is so disturbed, I feel so tired, that we have security measurements where we feel like, okay, either I need somebody to talk to who can encourage me, or I know I can also get my time off where I really focus, like, okay, now it's not only 20 minutes, 25 minutes of chanting, now I take care that I sit down and have the opportunity to chant all my 16 rounds in one. That I can read for some time. And it is important for our own spiritual life to understand what gives me inspiration. And then figure this out, and then have these nectar drops close by you. For example, what is very special for me, Ayindra Prabhu with some of his kirtans, if I listen to them, it gives me immediately peace. And it's so uplifting that I again get some energy. Oh, it is so amazing because you have this wonderful picture of the cows here. Cows are incredible. And especially the devotee cows. I mean, it's so wonderful to have this picture of Govardhan there also. Because for me, it always works. If my mind is a little disturbed, if I feel weak, whatever, then I had the opportunity to go to some Goshala, be with the cows, brush them, immediately the mind became peaceful, satisfied, relieved. So this cow protection is another great opportunity to get the full mercy, to become peaceful, relaxed again. But find for yourself what inspires you, like reading, singing for yourself. This is important to gain strength. Like Srila Prabhupada says, first we have to save ourselves and then we can save others. And it's so important to find the balance. I mean, it's also not good to say, well, I only take care of myself, I'm for myself, and I don't go out or don't do the preaching. Preaching gives us also life. For example, this book distribution, I mean, I was not really big distributing, but the fact that I found at least 15 minutes during the day to stop and go out and ask some people whether they want some books. It saved me. It saved practically my spiritual life. It gave me enormous inspiration again. It gave me so much enthusiasm and so much gratefulness to Srila Prabhupada and the books. And it developed, I mean, I still do not do any numbers in regard to the books, but I started to meditate on the books. I started to think about how can I approach people? How can I get some books to the people? How can I start that they stop? Because that's the point. You need to take them out of their world, somehow stop them and present the book in a very interesting way for them. And through this, it can happen that they also take a book and they are meditating on this and then trying, and I saw, no, it's not working. Of course, we know we are not the controller. Krishna is in control, but only the meditation is similar to what is written here. In this verse, Lord Krishna stresses the importance of remembering him, and the books are practically the same. So the books are also remembering Krishna, remembering Srila Prabhupada. And yeah, it worked that throughout the days and weeks I was meditating on books, I was getting books, and of course in between also some downs where I felt, no, it's not working, I need some break. But again, after some time I felt, let's try it. I read something about book distribution, so, and then I said, well, let me try it again. And I went out. And there, I also told Sainam Prabhu today, there it is important that we focus on the small things. Often in this world, especially in my area, in the Western world, we think big. Only if we do big, then we get the acknowledgement, then we are somebody. But that's not the way. I mean, of course, if we do big, Srila Prabhupada is also pleased. He said, like, book distribution, okay, this year we distributed so many books, and then he mentioned, like, okay, double it, so doing better. But if we are still, on the one hand, in my case, too much false ego is involved, Krishna keeps us a little bit down, but still to meditate on the small things which happen during the day. From there we get this inspiration that, wow, even this is a small miracle today. And this is so tremendously helpful for me to look, okay, where are the small things? Even if there's only somebody who tells you, wow, this is great what you are doing, this book distribution, really, I give you all my blessings, great thing that you can do it. And this is it practically for a day. Maybe no books went out, but some person appreciated. It is helpful for him because he's doing Akyata Sukriti or devotional service, not knowingly. And for you, you get some encouragement. So yeah, I can only encourage you. I don't know you probably, I mean, you're maintaining everything here, which is incredible, and you have a great spiritual life. But still, maybe there are a few points which were interesting, and yeah, simply continue, be together. It's so nice to come down, and yeah, Harinam Prabhu was working here, you are doing the Giviks here. It's really small family. It's so inspiring. Keep this enthusiasm, keep this closeness, and it gives people who come here maybe for first time the impression, oh, here's something different. Here it's not about material relationship, what can I gain from the other person, what is in here for myself. No, they should feel he has true, genuine, loving relationships, and this will impress people also. There are so many ways to show the people that we have the best philosophy, that we have the best books, that we have the best Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and that I'm sure we also have the best prasadam. So in this way, thank you so much for listening. I highly appreciate. If there's any comments, some realization, please share it with us. Or if you have a question, hopefully I can answer. Please, if something is what you like to share.
Thank you, Prabhu Doyantai, for giving such an inspiration. Actually, like, for many years, like, practicing Krishna consciousness, we are dealing with our minds every day, different situations. So, like, sometimes when our mind can no longer accept the fact, the reality, we are in this material world. Sometimes we have the tendency to almost giving up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, why did this happen to me? I thought that chanting, chanting Hare Krishna will give us the strength, will also pacify our mind. But the more you chant, the more tests will come. Right? So the more you serve Krishna, the more tests will come.
Yeah.
And so the same from the Bhagavad Gita, that we cannot control our mind, and the only to control our mind is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But then other devotees will go, oh, we are chanting, how come we cannot still control our mind?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, how can we practice like chanting our rounds intensively in such a way that whatever happens, we don't give up and we keep on trying chanting meditation without thinking anything negative.
Without listening too much to our mind.
Yeah, without listening too much to our mind.
Without giving into our mind. If he tells us it doesn't work, so it doesn't work, I leave it. Yeah. I mean, definitely a sensitive topic. On the one hand, very simple, whatever the mind says, still continue your rounds, still do it. If you have already given the vow of 16 rounds, do it. If you say, if you don't have a constant number, well, I suggest give yourself a constant number of rounds and do them. Even if you are feeling, even if you are not at all, what's the English word I'm saying? To be aware what you are doing.
Like you don't have a taste.
Sorry?
A taste.
A taste attentive. Even if you don't attend, just do it. I mean, it happened to me also many times that I felt so tired, that I felt so exhausted. But still, I did it. I still continue. So this is the first point I can say. Continue, don't listen to the mind. On the other hand, listen to the mind, in a sense that, as I said, they are the anarthas in our heart. And the anarthas are the point which block us, which block our progress. And to these anarthas, the mind gets strength. The mind receives the energy to keep us down. So it is so important to look in ourselves and figure out what is there in our heart. Often, or nowadays in the Western world, it's usually that we don't listen to feelings, or that it is said, if feelings come up, then we are preached to it says, it's Maya. Or we preach, it's because you're not chanting enough, so chant more, and this is it. And in general, do you feel satisfied by this? I don't feel satisfied by this. For me, it's important that somebody can reflect. If you tell me I feel so exhausted and I don't have any interest in continuing, I try to figure out, okay, what's the problem? Okay, you feel exhausted, tell me what's happening. So to make it short, to have somebody, like it is said, there are 6 ways of devotional service, of relation between devotees. One is to reveal yourself confidentially, and on the other way is to listen confidentially. So we need to have somebody, and we also need to have the ability to listen carefully and open ourselves confidentially. There must be trust. This trust is so important amongst devotees. In this sense, if you listen to yourself, what's going on inside, and then you can deal with the mind. You have to deal with the mind like a small child. Give him something, but a small child, you do not give him everything, because then the small child goes crazy, and so our mind also goes crazy. You have to find a way. Not the best example, but I will give it as an example. If you are still smoking and you want to reduce the smoking, you smoked 1 pack of cigarettes a day, and then you worked on it, and then you had 10 cigarettes a day, but then sometimes this mind says, it doesn't work, you will never stop smoking, so it just doesn't matter, just continue, take your 20 cigarettes again. And if you're careful and you have somebody to reveal yourself, you see what's going on, why it is going on, maybe you are frustrated because something else is not working, and this is the cause. So go to your inner self, find what's going on, try to reveal yourself, and then instead of just giving it up, tell your mind, okay, today take 13 cigarettes. Only 13, 3 more, a little bit. And then you get strength again, and you get balance again, and then you can reduce it again, and one day you will make it. So, to make it short, find a way, find somebody, listen to yourself, and that's the point which blocks our progress in spiritual life, that we do not go deeply in our heart, in ourselves. There are still anarthas remaining. We simply push them aside. Because obviously it is said like, you feel attraction to somebody else, and it is said, no, that's not allowed, you are not allowed to do this. And you blocked it. But still it just remains. The heart is not purified, it is simply aside. And you do not allow to look at it. That's a big difference. If you feel like, okay, there is somebody interesting, I feel attracted, so why is this? What is missing in your life? And so on and so forth. There's a process. And if you work this out slowly, slowly, the heart gets purer and purer, and then you find again all this enthusiasm, this gratefulness, because through the Maha Mantra you have the possibility to go deep in yourself. The Maha Mantra starts to reveal everything, and the Maha Mantra continues to bring you to the perfection. So it's all about the Maha Mantra and Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, that's not so short, but in short, what I would recommend in this way, how you can continue.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I hope this was clear. Can you?
I'm asking that on behalf of other people. They ask me.
Yeah.
We have mentioned that every day you have to work hard to maintain your family, especially the devotees who are grihastas.
Yeah.
That they're struggling when it comes to balancing.
Yeah. May I mention, may I say in this regard, it is also the point of doing a lot, and by doing a lot, getting this recognition. Often we feel, I don't do enough, I don't get the recognition, and so I feel frustrated. So the first point is to see what is about this fact of recognition. How much do I feel satisfied in myself? How much do I feel satisfied what I am doing? You feel like the more I do, the more acknowledged I become, and the more I feel satisfied. But that's an illusion. We come again to this point, see the small things in your life. Even if you are at home, you chant your rounds, maybe 16 rounds or maybe 10 rounds, nobody sees. You do your work, but you take some time for your rounds, quality time, and so it doesn't matter whether somebody sees. You needn't do anything for the outside world. Be with yourself, see how much can you give Krishna, how much can you do in your own spiritual life, and then feel satisfied. So this is very crucial with what intention we are doing the spiritual life, the chanting, etc. So it's not like I blame somebody, but like these grihastas, and it's a simple thing to simply give some words of appreciation. I feel in your country it's different from my perspective in my world. There's practically no appreciation. Of course, we feel, or it is understood in the philosophy, we shouldn't glorify somebody. But glorification and telling somebody, wow, it's nice that you did this kirtan today. It's nice how you decorated the deities with these nice flowers, these 4 flowers and Radharani. They were matching perfectly, and then in the middle of the turban of Krishna was the other champak flower, which gave the cherry on the cake on the turban. So simply mention this, and this will immediately also change the heart of the person. He feels a little gratitude, and he feels again enlivened, grateful. Just if you would tell the cook, the sabji was great today. Or your halava, the halava was really melting in my mouth, and it was so sweet and juicy, just like it is described in Bhagavad Gita, what is that sattvic food. And I mean, he will go the next day to the kitchen and he will do this halava again with so much joy, because he got some words of appreciation. So yeah, tell somebody, nice that you are here. I mean, I saw how you were dealing with this Mataji just before this, all the Indian ladies, so wonderful. You're so, with so much heart. I mean, who wouldn't like to be here, greeted like this by you? I mean, it's simply, the person wants to come back because you are here, you're greeting her. It's amazing. Yeah, so simply express some words to somebody, to the grihasta. That's also very important, that they feel they are also part of it. I don't know, as I said, like it's here in Germany, it used to be like, okay, there's some temple devotees and then the grihastas, and it was kind of drifting away. But that shouldn't be. We are all together practicing this Krishna consciousness, and we are in a sense a family. And yeah, if there's simply a little bit more communication, it will change a lot to my idea, to my understanding. Yeah? Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vita Gaur Premanandi Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Next time when you come back, we still have more questions.
Yeah, next. Then on the 8th, you have a list, or yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
steak Prashana. There is macaroni.